This semester in English 408 with Dr. Kirkland, I have learned many things, including how to create an inclusive classroom with comic books, video games, and in my first literacy project, I incorporated everything I've learned. But for this one, I want to get more specific, and I'm going to focus on only one article and one topic. I'm going to focus on the article "The Skin We Ink" by Dr. Kirkland. I want to interview a student who does have tattoos and see how he thinks about other students with tattoos and tattoos in the workplace. So now I'm going to interview Victor Lord, a film student at Michigan State University.
Hi, please tell us who you are, young man.
I am Victor Lord. I am James Shoney's roommate.
Awesome. Now I'm going to have a couple questions for you. Why do you have tattoos?
Well, James, I have tattoos for a couple different reasons. I actually just got these here, this one on this arm, and this one on this arm here. And I have another one here on my ankle. That's hard to see, kind of.
Nice.
And the reasons why I got tattoos was partially because of my passion for symbolism and some of the things that I really, some of the ideas I really respect. Like, I got my family's name on my leg. It's kind of showing, like, pride in who I am and where I come from and who my ancestors are, and everyone has bears the same name, and kind of inspires me to aspire. Each tattoo is kind of different, but it all kind of centers around, for me, like a symbol or an idea that's represented on my body in a beautiful art form, really. And I have deep passion and respect for art and artistic value also. And I think tattoos are a way to really honor that in a permanent way and in a beautiful art form on your own body that you take everywhere you go throughout your entire life, and that'll be with you just like those ideas in your head, but very much displayed on you. And that's why I got tattoos.
Alright, so Victor, how do you feel about tattoos in the workplace, and how do you think people stereotype with it?
Tattoos in the workplace can be a touchy thing, I think. But I think that ideas and stereotypes about it are changing very quickly, very fast, with the popularity of tattooing and the new technologies in tattooing really has been changing a lot over the last 10 years. Tattoos are becoming more detailed, more intricate, the inks are better quality. So people with, the stereotypical terrible tattoo that shows up in the workplace because he was drunk one day and got, tribal all over his lower arms that show, while he's at the workplace, or neck tattoos. I think those stereotypes are kind of fading away. I've spent some time in a lot of different scenarios with my internships at various companies, and I guess because of my creative background, that might kind of give me a different view on it and the types of workplaces I've been in. But I spent a lot of time at a company, at a banking company, doing their video work and working on their creative advertising team, and I was surprised to see a lot of the people have tattoos there, and they're perfectly acceptable. If it doesn't affect the quality of your work, then it's something that I think is changing people's views on it. I think tattoos in the workplace kind of centers around a judgment of people that don't really understand the art form, judging people that do have tattoos as certain kinds of people. But just like any other prejudice you have against anybody for any other reason, whether it be a choice or not, such as getting a tattoo is a choice, but there are other prejudices of racism and sexism and all kinds of things that stereotypes are proven to be untrue all the time. So I think that tattoos in the workplace are shifting. The views on them are shifting a lot.
Does it make a difference the person's occupation has with like a tattoo? So if you're at a doctor who had a tattoo, would that make you less likely to go to that doctor, or than if it was just like your mechanic?
Yeah, I think when you're thinking about different types of occupations with tattoos, in my experience and the way that I view tattoos firsthand having a tattoo, is that a tattoo is very personal, and it means something to everybody. So whether it means something special to that person, so I don't know, I know that they have tattoos, but to me, somebody that has tattoos, I don't carry a lot of prejudice on them for being any type of a person or any better or worse or less intelligent or, you know, I don't know, ignorant to professionalism at all. Because you never know what that tattoo symbolizes, unless it's like a vulgar symbol or unless it's like, some kind of has a connotation of negativity. But at the same time, it's like, what if they were wearing a T-shirt with that on it? I wouldn't. Different symbols hold different meanings. And if it was a negative meaning to it that I don't agree with, I mean, if they ascribe to that kind of mentality, then maybe I would have some kind of a prejudice against them, whether I want to or not. If it's some kind of a Nazi symbol or something that I don't agree with, I would question it. But if it was some symbol that I didn't really understand, or some woman on his arm, or pinup girl, or anything of that nature, like I don't really understand. I don't assume that I understand why they got that. As an example, a lot of people get memorial tattoos, memorializing somebody that passed away. They're not very willing to tell people exactly what their tattoo means. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, tell me what every tattoo on you means." All the time. It's a very personal thing, and a lot of times I've wondered about other people's tattoos, but then got to know them and they talked about it and they said, "Oh yeah, I didn't know why this person had this tattoo on them, and I thought it looked kind of weird, or I didn't know what it was, but turns out it was for one of their best friends that passed away." And it's like a memorial tattoo is a very popular thing in dealing with grief and closure. Like a doctor or a lawyer or a police officer got a tattoo in that kind of a memorial fashion. I wouldn't know right off the bat, and I wouldn't be able to judge them against.
Do you think that we should value the self-expression of tattoos in high school students?
It's an interesting thing for me because I'm speaking of it in a way that, even though I did that all when I was really young, I gave it a lot of thought, and I gave myself my name, because I know my name would never change, and it's something I really, at the time, was very coming of age for me, and I really wanted to honor that symbolism at that time, and it meant a lot to me. I gave it a lot of thought. I think when people talk about high school kids getting tattoos and showing them off to their friends to be cool, that's something that gives people like me a bad name. But to decorate your entire body while you're young and a teenager, before you know what you're going to be when you grow up, what your occupation is going to be, what's necessary, before you really form the ideas of who you are as a person, really, I don't think you should be marking up your body. If you asked me when I was that age, I would have said, "No way, that's bogus, freedom of expression and everything too." But, I think there's a level of responsibility that I like to promote with the art of tattooing, that is not incongruity with, or it doesn't associate with letting teenagers tattoo their bodies, because they're not responsible at that age.